So hi, girlfriends, friends, BFFs. So I'm actually gonna entitle this like random thoughts. There are a lot of random thoughts that run through my mind as a parent, and a lot of things that I can't talk about because it might break the spirit of my children, and they just tickle me to death. And so, one of the things happened around the flip phone. Um, so I thought long and hard before I got my 8-year-old a phone. And I actually got the phone when she was 7, and I held on to it until she turned 8. And what prompted me to get her the phone was there was a Girl Scout incident where it was a drop-off event, and the drop-off event ended an hour earlier. And so for me as an SMC, being on time and being prompt is very important to me, and making sure that my child is not the last child to be picked up is very important to me. So I have a bunch of things that I do to help me stay on top of it. Like I put alarms in my phone and things of that nature. So when this one Girl Scout event ended an hour early, no one called me, and I was the last parent picking up my child. Not only was I the last parent picking up my child, I was probably like 45 minutes late. And the thing is that I actually got to the event 40 minutes earlier. So I'm sitting in the parking lot waiting for the girls to come out. And so at that event, I was so flustered, and I was, as an SMC, to some extent, you are aware of being a single parent and what the single parent stereotypes are, that you're a hot mess and all of the negative things that come into play. And it kind of felt like, oh, I was having this is not fair moment for myself. And rather than anything, I was just like, okay, how do I make sure this doesn't happen again? So I got my child a phone. Now, researching which phones to get in order to keep all of the angst of social media, recommendations that you get your kid a flip phone that, is bare bones phone. And so I got my daughter a flip phone. It took me about a year to finally set it up. And so I got it set up. And so I gave her her flip phone. She started learning how to use it. So there are two things that stand out that are super, super funny, but I couldn't laugh at her while I was trying to teach her, because I am a Gen Xer, and we Gen Xers have lived through the creation of the internet, the creation of mobile phones, cell phones, and have seen all of the evolutions. And there are some things that we take for granted. And it's been a while since I've used a flip phone. So I give my daughter the flip phone. Now, in context, my daughter has only seen me with a smartphone. And so when I'm talking to girlfriends or family members, I'm usually in the kitchen doing something else. And so I hold my smartphone in my hand and I keep it on speaker, and so I'll talk this way, and that's all she's seen. So when I gave her her phone, and I said, let's practice with it to make sure she knew how to use it and everything. So I would call her on her phone, and she would be talking to me, and it would sound kind of muffled. And I'm like, Noelle, do you have the phone to your mouth? Yes, mommy, I have the phone to my mouth. Do you have the phone to your ear? Yes, I can hear you. And so she was still sounding muffled. So I had to call her to the room, and I was like, show me what you're doing. This is what she was doing. Hi, Mom. Yes, Mom. Okay. Love you, Mom. So she's talking to me as if it's a smartphone. She is not on speaker. So she's just talking to me. So I can't hear her clearly. And so I had to explain to her, your mouth goes here. This is the piece for your ear. And this is how you hold the phone. I had to explain this to her, but you take for granted that they know these things. My kids had never seen a landline before, so how would they know about the flip phone and where things go? So I had to explain that to her. Now, other funny is that recently we went to a friend's birthday party, and I was not sure if the friend's birthday party was a drop-off birthday party or if it was a birthday party where the parents stayed. And so I said, here, take your phone just in case you need to call me. Make sure you have it. So she had her phone, and it turns out it was a party where the parents could stay. So I stayed, and as parties go, at some point in the party, they brought out the cake. They were taking, all of the parents were taking pictures with their smartphone. My daughter whips out her flip phone. Like, I'm gonna take pictures too. Well, if you've ever had a flip phone, you can't take pictures of yourself. You can't take a selfie. And so she was like doing this, like, how do I see myself? And so I'm sitting there trying hard not to laugh. I'm like, honey, let me take that. I will take this picture for you. And you know, flip phones don't have the best camera. So I'm like, okay. So I got a couple of cute pictures of her and her friends on the camera on her flip phone. But it was the funniest thing because you get taken so far back. Like as adults, we've had flip phones and, you know, we could not take selfies. And so that's a blessing and a curse. But anyway, lots of fun and humorous and random things that happen around kids and, you know, indoctrinating your kids and, you know, explaining to them about technology because we have seen it all as Gen Xers. And so on that note, that's all, folks. And don't forget to tell your friends and your family about the podcast. Take a look at the resources. Follow us on Instagram. Start to Finish Motherhood. And y'all enjoy your day. Bye now.